Before Dracula ever stalked the night, something else haunted the villages of Romania. And it didn't just drink blood, it cursed entire families. Before the vampire myth went global, before Bram Stoker ever heard the name Dracula, there was the Strigoi. This isn't fiction, this is a real documented belief that shaped entire generations. Tonight, we dive into the terrifying roots of Romanian vampire folklore, where the dead don't rest and your ancestors might be the ones trying to kill you. Forget Hollywood. The Strigoi isn't some caped aristocrat in a castle. The Strigoi is the real vampire of Eastern Europe, and it's far older than Dracula. The name comes from Striga, meaning screech owl or witch, and it has ancient Roman roots. Unlike most undead legends, Strigoi were often people you knew, a family member, a friend, even a child. There were two kinds: living Strigoi, born cursed, sometimes marked by a caul over the face, red hair, or a third nipple, said to drain the life from others in secret, often without even knowing. Villagers believed these people caused miscarriages, illness, and crop failure just by existing. Then there are the dead Strigoi, the truly terrifying ones, rose from the grave to torment their kin, not always to feed, but to infect families with madness, grief, and death. If you died wrong, unforgiven, unbaptized, violently, you didn't stay dead. These weren't stories meant to entertain. They were believed with every ounce of fear a person could hold. How did the medieval Romanian villager know they were cursed? They watched for patterns. Animals would cry near a home, especially dogs howling or owls shrieking. People in one household would start dying, quickly, one by one. Crops would fail overnight. Milk would turn to blood. Dreams would bring dead relatives calling your name. A fresh corpse would be found face down, or with blood at its mouth. The worst omen: if you dreamt of the dead and woke up exhausted or bruised, they said the Strigoi visited you at night. And when that happened, there was only one thing to do. When fear took root, entire villages would gather in the dead of night, lanterns swinging in the mist, shovels in hand. They would exhume the body, suspected of rising. What they looked for: flesh still pink, blood flowing from mouth or nose, hair or nails that had grown. If the corpse matched their fears, the ritual began. Stake through the heart, beheading, burning the heart. Sometimes ashes were mixed into water and drunk to break the bond and purge the curse. Some graves were reinforced with stones, or the corpse was buried face down with sickles over the neck to keep the dead from walking. This wasn't superstition, it was survival. Strigoi weren't just the dead. Some were walking among the living. These were the ones born wrong. Signs included being born on a Saturday and dying before baptism, being the seventh child of the same gender, being born with teeth. Living Strigoi were believed to steal vitality, making animals sick or people waste away. And if you were suspected, you could be banished, forced into isolation, or worse, your death was seen as necessary for the village to heal. The line between victim and monster blurred. That's what made it so terrifying. This wasn't just village gossip. The panic spread to royalty and empires. Petar Blagojević in Serbia, 1725. After his death, 9 villagers died mysteriously. All claimed Petar visited them in the night. His corpse was found fresh, mouth full of blood. He was staked and burned. Arnold Paole, a soldier who claimed he'd been attacked by a vampire. And after his death, locals swore he came back. The case was so serious that the Habsburg military documented it officially, spreading the term vampire to Western Europe. These stories weren't seen as myths. They were seen as public health threats. The Strigoi wasn't just a monster. It was an answer. Why did babies die suddenly? Why did harvests rot without reason? Why did grief seem to haunt a house for years? In a world without doctors or science, the dead were blamed for the living's pain. And the rituals, they were a way to regain control in a chaotic world. Even now, in some remote areas, these beliefs haven't fully died. There are still stories, still whispers, still graves with stones stacked above them. Because deep down, the fear hasn't left. Before Dracula became a myth, the Strigoi were a reality. They were our neighbors, our lovers, our children, cursed to return and destroy what they once loved. It's easy to think of vampires as fantasy, but for the people of Romania, the terror was real. It was in the soil, in the blood, in the family name, and maybe it still is.